Welcome, everybody, back to A Kiss Like Yours. Holy moly. What is going on right now?
Yes, we are hearing about some very, very, very unfortunate news, and it's a shock, and it's so hurtful.
Yeah.
And your heart just goes out to his family and there were other people.
Yeah, we don't know what's going on yet as far as the other people, but we're talking about Kobe Bryant dying in a car crash at the age of 41, which is just
helicopter crash.
Yeah, helicopter crash. I can't even think straight right now. We're watching kind of the news as it's unfolding in case anything else that comes out.
Right.
But man, I know it's everybody's saying that it is like unbelievable to talk about, and like there's no words to kind of go at what you are looking and watching, but I guess that's just the best way to describe it. We can't. I literally don't know what to say.
Yes, it was just shocking. I saw you got a message from somebody, and then you were scouring trying to find news.
My brother-in-law says R.I.P. Kobe Bryant, and I'm like, what? Like, so I started to put on the news, and even the news. Okay, so we were watching the news.
Yeah, and I was starting to maybe feel a little bit of relief because I'm like, oh, the news they're not even confirming it's him. Like, if they knew it was him, they would be saying that already, and they didn't. The news that we were watching hadn't confirmed until we were watching for a good
while.
10 minutes.
They were talking about the crash itself.
Right. They just hadn't confirmed anybody that had been on.
In the helicopter, but they were talking about then they said, okay, we're going to come back. We're going to talk about the crash. So then the guy comes back on, and it's a firefighter, and he's talking about the crash, and he goes, well, we don't know anything yet.
Right. They're like, we don't know who owned the helicopter. We don't know where they were going, where they were coming from.
So I'm like, cool. I'm like,
okay, this is positive, right? No news is good news.
Right. So they were like, okay, well, they don't even want to say anything about names. We don't know names. We don't know anything.
And I shouldn't say it like that because it wasn't good news. We had learned that there were 5 people that were killed in this accident. So it's not like it was good news at all.
It was right. Yeah. We know what you meant. And then the reporters are there. They're asking questions about the helicopter. Why wouldn't you ask, hey, was Kobe Bryant on the helicopter?
Because
they obviously
just said, I don't know. I can't say. It's too early in this report. Do you want to be the person who names him dead and be wrong? You can't do that.
No, not so much that names him dead, but at least you would say it's rumored that Kobe Bryant was in the helicopter. Can you confirm that was his helicopter?
Right. I'm sure that his job prevents him from answering such questions.
I think that was BS, to at least acknowledge that we possibly know what helicopter this is, because 2 seconds later, the other lady from the actual news station comes up and says, oh, we can say it now. It's confirmed. Like, yeah, come on, man.
Well, they probably had to triple check the owner on record, and before they announce news like that to the world, and his family hears, you need to be sure.
So even before they did that, Yahoo had it up that it was him. TMZ had it up that it was him.
What's your point?
My point is just like, man, I just wish they would have handled it a little bit different. But I mean, in the end, I guess they're just doing what they can to keep them, keep their reputation of not saying anything until it's confirmed.
You need to make sure that what you're
I
doing
think
is
I'm
correct,
just
you need to soften
mad.
the blow. Can you imagine if his kids turned it on and it was wrong, or his wife? I mean, like, I
think I'm just mad. Like, I'm really mad like that this happened, and not mad like it's somebody's fault, just like hurt, because this sucks, man. This Kobe Bryant leaving this earth, he didn't do anything specifically for our family, but the entertainment value that he's provided over the years, the dedication to his craft is such an example. And what I like about my favorite part about Kobe's example is it's not squeaky clean. It's not.
Right.
It's not.
It's very human.
It's very human. He's gone through
trials.
Not only trials, but mistakes. The sexual assault stuff, the years where the Lakers were trash. and it was real. It's not always great all the time. You have one of the top, I would say, top 5 players to ever play the game. It's arguable because you can go back and forth about arguing who's greater, Michael, Kobe, Wilt, you name it. Go on and on. But the fact is that he is in that conversation. Man, just the dedication, 20 years with the same team. That tells you the dedication piece,
the loyalty,
the work. It's well documented, his work ethic, right? It's well documented of how much time he puts in. So I feel like his story is so just genuine, and it's hard. I think I'm just mad right now.
It's hard to see that portion of it come to a close
like that, where
he still had so much that he wanted to do. He was so young. He had
he has 4 daughters. And that hurts, because now their daughters, their children, his daughters have to grow up without their dad, and what really bugs me about that is they're very young, and we watch a lot of, I would say, I don't want to say documentary, but situational programs where we experience what happens when the family's broken up, what happens when dad's not there,
right,
and the impact that it has on, your the rest of your life.
Right.
We watched Cheer.
Oh yeah, we binged that in one night.
We watched Cheer like all night. We were just hooked on Cheer on Netflix.
We had to see how it ended.
And we'll save that conversation for another time. But the stories behind these, boys and girls, men and women that do this cheer competition, of why they're there and how this outlet is so important to them because their parents or because their, mom and dad weren't around. It breaks my heart for the daughters. They're it just breaks my heart. And he's so involved with them too. You see him online. He's there at their games, coaching them alongside, just like any other dad would. And I really love that piece about him because, again, it was so genuine
and very impactful. It's a special relationship that fathers and daughters have.
Yeah.
And they need that because, as we've expressed before, that's the first example that they will see of how they receive love from a man and how they should be treated by a man.
Yes, it's how their father treats, like me, how I treat you.
Right.
And the things that we do, that's the norm. We are a product of our environment.
Right.
So how I treat you is not important, is important for our relationship, but is more important for our girls to see that piece too. Right. And same thing for boys. When dad treats mom, if you have boys, it's very important that they get that example, because just like how we say, oh, well, your dad did this and you're repeating the cycle. Well, when it's good, they're going to repeat the cycle too.
Correct.
They're going to repeat it when it's good and bad. So, man, I kind of tying it back to his family. Our hearts go out to the family, his daughters, the friends. He's not my friend, but I feel like, if he were to walk in to my house now as a complete stranger, we would just pick up like if we were friends. I watched him for so long that, one of the memories that I had was when he first broke in. I don't know why this always stuck to me, but he dribbled the ball up the court and got a backcourt violation because you get only a certain amount of time to get the ball over the center half court. So as he's dribbling up, the ref's counting down his time, and he just gets backcourt violation because he didn't bring it up fast enough.
Because he didn't know.
And he was a rookie. No, he knew. He was just a rookie, and it's just like, being in that mindset, like I'm in an NBA game, you're not thinking about that stuff. You're just trying to look as cool as possible because you don't want to feel like the situation is over your head. But I always remembered that. I always remembered that one game where he just he screwed up. And I think it was not that moment, but those things were such a huge driver in his mindset and his preparation that it was a huge part of his game to keep getting better and focusing and making his teammates better. I know, like, everybody thinks that Kobe was a ball hog. Well, of course. If you were Kobe Bryant, you'd want the damn ball too, man. If you were Kobe Bryant, you would be throwing up shots. Yeah. You would be just getting buckets.
You'd want what you were getting paid to do.
Exactly.
You'd want the ball. See, I grew up in the era of watching the Eddie Jones, the Nick Van Exel, the Anthony Peeler, the Vlade Divac. Those were the Lakers that I grew up watching.
I loved Anthony Peeler.
And I cried when
Divac. You have your Divac jersey on.
I do. That's my Laker gear. I cried when Anthony Peeler was gone, and I remember an interview that he did with Chick when he was at the Grizzlies, and he had a little paw that he got for him, and he was sad to be gone from the Lakers.
Yeah,
I always remember that. That was so cute. But when Kobe was coming in, Divac got traded out, and I was heartbroken. I was crying. I was devastated. My mom ran out and made sure to get me his jersey.
Yeah, your Divac jersey before
it was still available. So thank you, Mom.
So you still have that jersey?
I do. So I was a little angry with Kobe.
Were you?
When
because he was the reason
when he came into the Lakers, but it was fun to watch. I watched when they won the first 3 championships. Mm-hmm. I was still an avid Laker watcher. Now I don't watch the games. I find them a little boring and basketball games, unless it's playoffs. I don't have an interest. But back then, I was playing basketball in school, so you would watch it. I would watch, and that was big. So I do remember that.
Well, sports has always been kind of a big thing in my family. So my first recollection of Kobe was just coming in and seeing this kid fly around with his afro, just the way he had it up and it was, you can always spot him because at the time, the kids didn't have that. And so as you kind of go through the years with Kobe and Shaq and the championships and the drama and that one game where they're down, they're playing Portland and they're down in the finals, man, and they come roaring back and Kobe gives Shaq that alley-oop and Shaq's just pointing, man. He's pointing. He's like, man, with his eyes just huge. And they're coming back. I remember I was at my cousin's house during that game, and he has like this. It was like a patio, right? It was an add-on patio, but I'm 6'3", right? And I have a 2-inch vertical. I cannot jump. I didn't play basketball. I was horrible at basketball. I was like Rodman. I'd have like 17 rebounds because I was the tallest kid in my class, but 2 points coming on free throws. Because I was horrible at shooting. But that add-on, it was a low ceiling. And when Kobe lobbed that ball to Shaq and he threw it down, my head, I even went like this because I was just so excited. I was jumping out of that room and seeing those guys come back like that. I don't think I'll ever forget. I'll never forget his last game. I'll never forget that. Because I was at the condo. We were at the condo, and it was his last game. And, of course, Kobe's washed up, and they're playing, and it just dropping. And a lot of people would say Utah didn't play that defense on him. Okay, well, let's just pretend like that was the case. Let's just pretend like that was the case. Let's just pretend like that was the case. He was still dropping buckets. You got to make it. If you're washed up, you don't got no more game left. Right. He'd be missing all that. Mm-hmm. But no, he goes out and does what he does in spectacular fashion. Just, I mean, you can go play after play with Kobe Bryant, and there's no end to the highlights that came from that man. So it's just an incredible loss for the NBA, incredible loss for his family. We're gonna miss that guy.
Absolutely, that there's gonna be a huge gap there that will never be filled. Like I said, at this point, I am just hurting so much for his children and for his wife. That That's your partner. That's your
Right.
life partner. You know, they've been together since they were very, very young. They've come a long way. They dealt with a lot in their marriage.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they've powered through. It
I-
kind of ties in, you know, to a couple of other things that really have been going on in the world around us this week
Uh-huh.
that I think is really big and needs to be mentioned. I know she's trying to put in a passcode over here to get. I saw it popping up on the TV. I'm like, what are you doing here, baby? Okay, go enjoy your snack. Okay, see you in a bit. I'll see you in a bit, baby. Go enjoy snack. You know, we've seen there's this massive outbreak of virus going around China and is causing quite a scare, and there's going to be a lot of people that are going to become very, very sick, and there's going to be a lot of people that are not going to survive that. And we've also seen loss in our soldiers. You know, now with tense activity over there, you know, we're concerned about that. So it's been a crazy week of a lot of different things happening. And I think that just goes to show us that, you know, tomorrow is never promised, and we need to share that time with the ones we love, let them know we love them, get past some of the little things and just spend your time here with those that matter to you, appreciate them, love them, you know, take care of them. That's one thing that you and I have been going back and forth on a little bit, you know, is that I feel like at least Kobe's wife and family, they will be taken care of. You know, his absence won't leave them in an uncomfortable place. They're not going to be without. You know, he made sure that they were all going to be cared for. And I think that's something that, you know, we need to consider.
Yeah,
And
I mean, you're talking about life insurance and all that kind of stuff. I mean, we've talked a little bit about that. I have a particular kind of mindset when it comes to that. I've been doing my due diligence, I think, to help and get more educated in that fashion, because obviously the better education that you have in these particular areas, the better decisions that you make.
Mm-hmm.
So, for instance, if something were to happen to you today, are you that one paycheck away from being broke, losing your house? Like, what is it that you've done to set yourself up for in case something happens in your job, in case something happens physically?
Right.
Are you thinking about those things? You know, obviously with a high profile athlete like this, you know, it's something, since he's retired now, that he doesn't really have to worry about as far as like, where is that source going to come from? He's built that foundation, and this triggered, you know, he's gone now. There's nothing any of us can do with it. But what he's done is set himself up to take care of his family in the future. So, you know, I just believe that, is it going to be the same circumstances for us? I don't know, but I do believe that, you know, if we at least think about it, we're actively working. It's one of the reasons why we have the podcast is, you know, I go to work every day, right? Correct. You stay home and take care of the kids. We have one income, and there's benefits to that. But one of the disadvantages to that is, if something were to happen to me, it's very, very dangerous to live this way. So we are actively doing things with ourselves financially to be able to create assets and to be able to create multiple streams of income, so that in case something were to happen to me, maybe it's not going to be where the same type of income is coming in, but at least you have something coming, something working up to be able to build on in case something were to happen to me.
Right.
So, you know, that's one thing definitely to take away from all this is,
you know,
are you guys thinking about that?
Situations like that really make you stop,
because it's real. Obviously, it's real, and
I was going to say, you don't expect it. You know, especially at a time like this, in a fashion like this, he was probably going out and done something. I mean, they had mentioned that he would take his private helicopter, you know, to and from to the games numerous times. That was part of his style. That was just what he did. You don't expect that when you walk out the door, you're not going to come back home. You never expect that.
Yeah, I don't have a helicopter, but I can very easily get hurt in a car crash. I can very easily get hurt, you know, somewhere
at work,
you know. So It's a difficult thing to think about. Unfortunately, this event has triggered for him and his family. I would like to think that there's a reason why this happened, that he was needed for something other than our entertainment. I know I'm upset about it, but that's kind of a selfish thing to be, is that, well, we lost something today. Yeah, we did lose something, but there's a reason why he's gone. Mm-hmm. So who gained from this?
Right.
I think it's somebody gained something from his passing. So this is maybe a learning experience for you. Maybe this is, heaven's got a new angel today, so he's going to be watching over you. He's going to be, doing what he was meant to be from a spiritual standpoint now. So in that regard, I'm sure there's going to be much coverage on the celebration of his life, the impact that he had here on earth. But we are believers, and we don't feel like it ends here. So I would, just think about those things when it comes time for this celebration of the accomplishments. Yes, he had an amazing accomplishment sports-wise. He won an Oscar last year, I believe it was, or the year before, one of the two.
Right.
He's had an impact from an entertainment standpoint where he was able to come into our living rooms and give us this joy of winning via the LA Lakers.
Correct.
When we are not on the team.
Yes.
But we feel like we're on the team because of superstars like Kobe Bryant, because of superstars like Magic Johnson and all the other Lakers and all the other superstars for any sport for that matter.
Exactly.
They make us feel like we are on the team. That's why we show up with the colors on, screaming our heads off for something that we don't even we paid for that.
Exactly. We don't get anything in return.
We don't come home if the Lakers win. We don't come home and celebrate. Right.
We don't get a portion of any of that championship money. That's for sure.
So it is what it is from an entertainment perspective. But he's loved, and we are gonna miss Kobe Bryant being on this earth. We thank him for the time he has here. We look forward to whatever spiritual missions he's gonna be put on. And it's just a sad day for us, but
absolutely,
we're gonna definitely continue to grow and think about some of these things. What is like I had said, what is not impactful is when the Lakers win a championship. That doesn't affect this home. What affects this home is the principles behind what just happened.
Correct.
The principles behind, if something were to happen to me, are you set up to take care of your family? And if not, are you working towards that? So I think that's huge for the principle of what's coming out, more than just that we lost one of the greatest basketball players of all time. So,
and not just that, because he was so much more than that. Yes, that's where it started, but look what he turned it into.
Yep.
And that's an amazing thing to come from. And I think it was Pastor Dan. I can't remember exactly what he said, but when he was talking about kids, and it applies to everyone, but he always says that they're not yours. They're a gift from God. They are on borrow. Mm-hmm. And they can be called back home at any time.
That's any one of us.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's something that, of course, most people think about often, but when something like this happens, time really stands still, and it really makes you reevaluate what you have been doing, what you should be doing, what you need to be doing.
Yeah. So take those principles from today. Take Kobe's drive, take Kobe's commitment, take Kobe's work ethic, take Kobe's understanding and his vision. You would hear some of the things that he talked about. He can see things before they happen. He saw them come together, and then he worked towards that goal. And when you hear successful people talk, you hear successful businessmen, or whatever the case is, sports, it don't matter. It's all the same thing. They can see it. They work towards it. They work their ass off for it. and then they keep working until it's done. So we want to thank Kobe Bryant. We want to pray for his family.
Yes.
And we'll leave with that.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you, Kobe, for everything that you have given.
All right. We'll catch you guys next time.
Thank you for being a part of LA.